Paul Marchek here from Puffy Wuffy Studios in Tillsonburg, Ontario, at the Tillsonburg Station Arts Centre now, doing an interview today with Stella Jurgen, a local artist whose international roots have greatly influenced her art and diversity in medium as well. So please join me for the interview with Stella and then a tour of the studio gallery immediately afterwards. Thank you. So we're here today with Stella Jurgen, who's a local artist here in Tillsonburg at the Tillsonburg Station Arts Centre. Stella, could you just talk a little bit about what your influences are in your art?
Well, I have many influences as I have a multicultural background, and you can see it by all the colors that I use. There's no boundaries at all, and that's kind of what influences me the most, is being a multicultural person. I was born in Argentina, Buenos Aires. My mom is Italian, my dad's Portuguese. I was 9 years old when we moved to Portugal, and I had to learn the language and all. And when I was 19, my dad immigrated to Canada, so he brought us all. So here I am, a Canadian now, with a whole ton of cultural experience, and these are my influences.
What was your background in art?
My background in art started since I was very little. I had a lot of awards. I was gifted with being an artist and a creative person, say it that way. And I studied graphic design here in Canada. I came from Portugal. I had started fine arts in Lisbon, but only for 4 months before I came here. Always loved art. Always with a pencil and crayons in my hands and paints and, trying to be creative and having fun with it. That was my thing.
Where are you exhibiting your art then, right at the moment?
Right now I'm exhibiting a collection called Discovery. It's my personal journey, and I'm here at Station Arts Centre in Tillsonburg. It's a solo exhibition. I started with a series of works since 1989, which are my first oils on canvas board, also on canvas. And my first series was about figures. So I really love faces to start with, and I wanted to see how well I could paint a face, right? Especially female faces. Then after that, I did a few exhibitions throughout my artistic journey, of course, and this is my 7th solo exhibition. But I had the need to express with more color and more pop art and all the fun things that I could relate music and movie stars and all that. And so I came up with a series that is right behind me. I don't know if you can see it, a little bit of everything. There's Taylor Swift in there, there's Amalia Rodriguez, a fado singer from Portugal. We have Sofia Loren from the movies, and her pasta feast, which comes from my background of my mom being Italian, and I grew up eating pasta and making pasta with my nonna. And so all these things that influenced me, through my career. Then, of course, I had, like everyone else, that awkward thing, which was COVID, and we had nothing to do. We were home isolated. That's how I started a COVID series. So I painted a few of those, thinking of how can I achieve a little bit of happiness, a little bit of hope by being at home and painting all by myself. It's like I made a portrait of myself called Forgive Us, and I thought at the moment I was going to die. And I thought, oh my God, if I die, nobody knows who I was, so I better make a self-portrait of myself, and thinking, this is how I want people to remember me. I want to be colorful, I want to be fun, unexpected. After this, and having all these collections developed and in my studio, I wanted to show them off. So I came to Station Arts, and I made a proposal, and they were happy to see that I had a lot of work to be shared with the community here in Tillsonburg. And so that was an amazing experience, that they welcomed me with open arms, and they said, yes, of course, we would love to have you. And so I developed a small series of 10 works that depict Tillsonburg. And so I moved from Oakville to Tillsonburg 3 years ago. And I found these little spots that were really, really fun and interesting. So I took some photos. And after a while, I collected an album full of pictures about Tilsonburg, and I decided to paint a few of those. And the one I really like was my first flight over Tilsonburg by Don Horace, the airport manager and owner of the Tilsonburg Flying School. And so I painted the view that I could see of Tilsonburg downtown from above. And it was really a fun experience, one of those things that you cannot experience anywhere else. I think by moving to Tilsonburg was really, really a good move. I love the people. I got to meet a ton of wonderful people while I'm here for the past 3 years. Either was working at the airport, painting murals over there. I really enjoyed that experience the most, actually. And I painted also a few murals in the library. So I have a mural in Tilsonburg Library. I have another mural in the Otterville Branch Library. I was able to do a collaborative work with 2 other artists at the mall. So we have the Tilsonburg Town Center. We have art there in the ceiling so you can see it. We also have art along the walls, so like big shopping bags with original art. So these opportunities that I found in Tilsonburg are just amazing. Like, I love that people enjoy art, and it's so important for the culture that you get engaged. You know, you try as an artist, we want to say our message, but we also want people to embrace art with us. You know, we want to give. We have so much, right? So much creativity, so much fun in us that is not enough just for me. I want everybody to have fun with it. So I also teach. So I have a few workshops here at Station Arts. I've done a few sip and paints workshops, so we paint landscapes, you know, we have fun together, and they're usually full. So it's very fun. It's great.
What are your mediums that you like to use?
Well, I started with oils on canvas. That's the medium that I prefer at the time. But as you grow as an artist, you experiment with other types of mediums. Right now, I'm using acrylic on canvas. It dries fast. For me, it's easy to use. I use it in layers, and I don't use very thick paint. As you can see by my work, there's not too much texture, but I like it that way. It's nice. I like to work that way.
What about your, you don't just paint exclusively on canvas, you also have a textile art that you've turned into sculpture, right? And that is very unusual. It's quite involved. Could you walk us through the process of that a little bit?
Yes, of course. All started because I had a solo exhibition at the Peach Gallery in Toronto, and I decided I was going to cover a wall of, I think it's about 13 meters long, just with art on fabric. And I would sell art by the meter. So I printed my art. So first I made all the paintings, large paintings, 4 feet by 6 feet. I made all the artwork, I photographed it, I put it in Photoshop, I did all my meters of fabric that I needed to do, prepared in advance in Photoshop, send it out to print onto satin. And then I exhibited through one whole wall full of fabric art, and the other walls full of paintings. So you could relate that painting, oh, that painting is part of this part of the fabric. And people could just take the meters they wanted and use whatever they wanted it for. So they could have fabric to make a curtain or a pillow or a duvet cover or anything like that. But at the end of the day, all the paintings sold except fabric. So from the fabric, I decided to make gowns. And so that's how it started. So I had a collection of 12 gowns made with the fabric. And I decided to participate in a fundraiser breast cancer fashion show for the Princess Margaret Hospital in Toronto. So that was my first fashion show. And I did 3 more after for mental health at the Trillium Hospital in Mississauga. And every year I was invited to participate with my art and my fashion. So I was okay, this is kind of fun. So now I just do it for, you know, make more dresses, not just for art and not just for shows. It's just because I love it. And I found that here in Tilsonburg, people also love my gowns with printed artwork. They're like one of a kind. They're artistic gowns that make a statement. And I have some for sale at the Sixpence bridal shop. here in Tilsonburg. She also has some accessories that I make by hand, and some purses and some necklaces. So yeah, it's been a fun journey to make art into wearable art, making dresses. You know, I even make my own jacket, like this one. It's just made of recycled jeans. But I enjoy, you know, being creative in many, many ways. So not just painting, I like to create. Every day I make something.
What brought you originally to Tilsonburg? How did you end up here?
The funny part is that my husband, we were driving with our convertible, and usually we went up on 19 to Ingersoll and St. Mary's and all that, the area over there. And he said, what's below 19? What's in the south part of 19? So we ended up driving all the way down here, and it was a Saturday morning, and the market was outside. The vegetable, the fruit market was outside. We came to visit the Station Arts Art Gallery, and I go, holy, this is really beautiful. And then we went to Lake Lisgar because we kayak. I said, we came back to kayak at Lake Lisgar with our SUV. Of course, we couldn't bring kayaks in the convertible. And it was just so much fun that everything we were looking for, including our sunset, was here in Tilsonburg. Okay, this is a funny story because every weekend we would go out from Oakville. We would go up to a little bit of road there by Milton, and we're looking for the sunset. It's like, okay, let's go find a beautiful sunset. But it was always too many trees. We could never find like an open area where we could see just the sun going down. So when we came to Tilsonburg, it's like we picked our lot, we bought the house, and we had no idea because we only came here during the day. We didn't know what sunsets were like. Then we moved into our house, and wow, it was just amazing. Because the corn farm, the cornfield is right outside our house, so it's a huge open area, and the sunset setting down every single day is a different beautiful photo. Like I have thousands of pictures by now of sunsets. People just stop there with their car taking pictures of the sunset right in front of my house because I see the sunset the best. I'm like, unbelievable. So we're here. We made it. This is it.
If someone wanted to get in touch with you, do you have an online presence? How could they get in touch with you?
If anybody would like to contact me, I also do commission work. So if all these paintings are not what you're looking for, I can always make you a painting that suits the style, the colors, the size you need. And you can contact me through my website, stellajurgen.com. Through Facebook, I have a page, Stella Jurgen. Instagram as well, Messenger. You can just call me.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time today, Stella. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Here we can see Stella's pop art section in the studio. It's mostly acrylic for the pop art section. And here you can see Sophia Loren's Pasta Feast with Sophia, which is fantastic because if you look, it's actually very three-dimensional in the pasta. It comes out very far from the canvas, very realistic work on the portraiture. Moving on to some of her textile work. This was a candy-inspired theme for this set, and you can see that she has matching paintings with the dress and the accessories. All of it is candy themed and matching. Here you can see her Avengers painting of Captain America. This is a Taylor Swift painting that's really fun and candy oriented. This is all very pop art. Bright colors, active compositions. Here is a portrait of Elton John, the Rocket Man. Again, all very bright, colored. Here you can see some of her COVID works. These also are in acrylic. This was all painted during the COVID pandemic, when so many of us were trapped at home and explored our artistic sides. Here is a striking acrylic portrait from her COVID series. The brushwork you can see is really aggressive and thick. Moving on to her oil painting section, this is a portrait of love. This is Paloma, the dove. Her portrait of Gemini, her astrological sign. This lovely vertical portrait is of Mississauga. She's entitled it. And here is the cat in the hat, with the tension between the cat and the cardinal. These are landscapes from the local area here in Tillsonburg, Ontario. Many of them are from Lake Lisgar. Some of them are from the Tillsonburg Airport. They're all in acrylic. And she plays with light, trying to capture the time of day in her landscapes, which I believe she does very well. You can feel in the top work the early morning as it breaks through on the treetops. Finally, to close off, these are a pair of my favorite works here at the studio. These are her dress series that she's made out of found objects. This one is entitled Superhero, and you can see the Avengers theme along with her accessories. And my favorite, bar none, her Love Coffee, the coffee dress, all decked out in Tim Hortons. And the accessories made from used Keurig containers, where some might find garbage in a used pod. Stella has turned it into art. Truly found object sculpture. Smashing. Stella Jurgen's Discovery Art series will be available here at the Tillsonburg Station Arts Centre until June the 12th. So please come in and join us and celebrate this incredible local artist. I'm Paul Marchuk from Puffy Wuffy, saying bye for now.